Charles Davis. How are you, Charles?
I'm doing well, Rich. Good to hear your voice.
Same here. Same here. Well, you're going to be hearing a lot more of it on yours coming up very soon. Did you see that photograph of Jameis Winston that was disseminated via social media over the weekend? Did you see that?
I certainly did, and I didn't have to go looking for it either. It was sent to me from a few different places. Some of them, and it's funny because, Rich, I got it from people who are anti-Jameis, whether they know him or not, and I got it from people who are pro-Jameis, talking about, see, look at everyone piling on. And, I got, the explanation I got from the Jameis Winston camp is that photo was taken, a month and a half ago. He's lost 11 pounds since. Look at the bungee cord cinching up his stomach. And all I told him was, listen, the proof of everything happens in Indianapolis. I mean, this whole photo can go away if he's in shape and ready to roll at the combine.
Charles Davis joining me here now. So you're saying the Winston weigh-in that's probably going to happen Friday? that's going to be a big piece of news that's coming.
Isn't it something? Because Rich, I was firmly convinced that the Winston presser, because every year, doesn't it? It's not that it seems that way. It's true. Every year, Rich, we go into this, and there's at least one player whose press conference prior to the event is what we're discussing. We had the Cam Newton press conference after the comments by Nolan Naraki. We had the Manti Te'o with the girlfriend, where he'd been duped by the girlfriend. We have them every year, and it's not just because it's the star of the combine. There's usually something else swirling around. Well, this year it was going to be the Jameis Winston presser due to all the stuff he's been through at Florida State. The civil case is still looming over him that's been brought by the young woman who had filed a criminal charge against him that's been dismissed. And guess what? Now, add in the Winston weigh-in. I think it's going to be all Jameis all the time during the week of the combine.
Charles Davis joining me here. Does it matter to you if Winston or Mariota or anybody else spins it at the combine? Where do you stand on this issue, Charles?
I'd like to be a lot more firm that I like to see them throw, but I'm also a realist. And I've seen over the years, Rich, where we get all this chatter in our ears, and you get it as much as anyone, whether you're at dinner or people that you talk to in the league. I'm pretty sure they've said, "Oh, those guys that throw, that means something to me when they come out and show they want to compete." And then when we see the draft selections, it doesn't really seem to have that kind of effect. Everyone kind of looks at the quarterbacks and says, "We know you're not going to throw, or you don't want to. We want you to, but we're not going to ding you." So to me, I'm kind of past that point. It would be fun, but I don't think either one of them has a lot to quote unquote gain by doing it. Remember when Russell Wilson threw? That was a big deal because he needed something to help continue to set himself apart. Because at the time, people didn't see the Russell Wilson we're seeing nowadays. They saw 5'10" and 3/8, and what are we going to do with this guy? And he chose to take it as another opportunity to distinguish himself, and it worked out very well. But these two, I don't think there's any distinguishing themselves. They're clearly the top two quarterbacks in the draft.
Charles Davis joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Give me the name of a guy you're looking forward to seeing. Give me somebody we're not talking about, Charles Davis.
Look, I'm a big Shane Ray fan at Missouri. I like him a bunch. I love the name and the game of Jaquaski Tart, a safety from Samford, who I just watched more tape on today, and he is a flat-out missile in terms of getting to a ball carrier and spilling him. He's a guy that I really enjoy watching. He's going to be fun. And I want to see Devin Funchess, the wide receiver from Michigan, because last year I was the guy that really was in the camp that Kelvin Benjamin was too big in terms of weight to hold up as a receiver full-time, and he proved me wrong his rookie year. And Devin Funchess needs to go over and hug Kelvin Benjamin because he's going to be that big receiver this year that we're talking about. Maybe should be a big slot or a tight end, and instead he'll be able to get his chance out wide, I believe, first and foremost, because Kelvin Benjamin proved that at 240 you can get it done.
It's all said and done, Charles, as we're sitting here on President's Day. Who do you think's the first pick in the draft by Tampa, Charles?
I think it's going to ultimately be Jameis Winston.
Really?
I do. The word I'm getting is that he's checking out well there, that they like him. I think as long as he doesn't just totally destroy the interview process or get in any trouble between now and then, I think that they will take him and run with it. Now, remember, the civil case that's out there, that's now, that's one other piece they have to consider. But remember, no criminal charges. We're talking about a civil case. So I don't think that the same concern is out there for Tampa in terms of dealing with that. What they have to satisfy themselves with is, do we believe that we're going to have to deal with more things like this in the future? Well, I think that ultimately he's going to check out, and Winston will be the first name called.
So many people go back and forth. I've never met him, so I can't, say anything. It's just everything that I've read and see from, him jumping on the table and, in the cafeteria and saying nutty things to him making the smoke symbol as he's walking into the Rose Bowl, for crying out loud, and, the hand gesture. Where do you stand on it, Charles? And by that I mean this young man, camera in his face at an age where few of us would ever want to have a camera in our face recording everything, or red flag of all red flags type kid.
I think that the first part you said is right on target, but here's the thing nowadays, and we're going to look back, Rich, in 10, 15 years and say, remember where the tipping point was that these kids got trained earlier and they won't get quite the same path. I don't know whether that'd be fair or not. Mm-hmm. But let's face it, Rich, nowadays these kids, I just heard today, so one of these recruiting groups is now ranking sixth graders. So we're getting to that stage where these kids are so used to this stuff that while we want to continue to give them a path, we also talk about kids having to grow up faster in certain families because of certain issues come up, Maybe dad passed away and he had to assume and become, father of the family. There's other situations. We've seen it time and again, and kids actually mature quicker. But we're maturing them faster in this stuff because we're bombarding them with it along the way. Look, it's as simple as going back to I Love Lucy, Rich. Lucy, you got a lot to explain, and that's where it is. You got some explaining to do, and he's got that because, look, I think any normal person would ask this question, whether you were guilty or not guilty, and let's assume you're not guilty with the sexual charges that were against you. If you had that looming over you or someone accused you of that, where in your head do you think it's a good idea to be a normal college student and jump up on a table and scream out the meme that was circling the college world? Yeah, that's the type of thing that I think that many people are going to ask. All right, I get that you're a college kid, but you also know who you are. You're a Heisman Trophy winner. They've been pounding this at you for a while. You can't quite do things the way other people do, yet you continue to try and do so. Why?
Maybe that'll be many of the questions that are asked of him, and a question that we will be asking not only all weekend long, but all the way to the draft and then maybe beyond. Charles, I'll see you in Indy, sir. Have a safe flight.
I look forward to it. And, Rich, I need 5 minutes to discuss the Saturday Night Live spectacular that was on last night.
Hold on, Charles. Why don't you wait 60 seconds? We'll do it when we come back.
Okay, that's a deal.
There you go, Charles Davis. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Charles Davis wanted to talk about the Saturday Night Live 40th anniversary special. So, Charles, you have the floor. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, obviously, I thought it was tremendous to see how many people made it back. It was good to see some people we haven't seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. Joe Piscopo, when was the last time you spotted him? And for him to make it back, I thought was great because I think he's one of those guys that has gotten overlooked over time as part of the fabric of it. But I thought the Eddie Murphy introduction by Chris Rock was phenomenal. And then Eddie's appearance, I'm kind of left wanting on that one. I was like, that doesn't match up at all. This guy just told the whole world how influential you were and said, did I not hear correctly? He gave you the credit for saving the show, that the show wouldn't have existed beyond that time frame if you hadn't come along. And he just kind of popped out there and was like, yo, hey, all right, great. And that was it. That stunned me.
Well, he hadn't been back in 35 years. And it would So which one, in many ways, what would he have done? If he did the hot tub, the James Brown's hot tub, or Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood, Gumby, how does it serve, I guess, him in his mind maybe to do Gumby again?
Yeah, I didn't expect him to come back and do anything.
Right.
I thought I was going to see a little more heartfelt about that time frame. I thought maybe I would get a little, you talk about helping propel me to where I am today.
Right.
Just the standard stuff. But it almost seemed like, I don't know if I want to be back here. And I thought it was very, I'm not going to call it off-putting because it's his time, but that build-up and what Chris Rock did, I don't know if I would have been able to walk down the stairs if someone said that about me. But I might have come down with tears coming down my face.
But what TV show could have Chris Rock introduce, Eddie Murphy? I mean, Seinfeld was out there too. My favorite skit that got redone last night that I'm glad that they did was Celebrity Jeopardy. I don't know why Will Ferrell as Alex Trebek cracks me up. Daryl Hammond as Sean Connery is genius, as is Norm Macdonald's Burt Reynolds.
Turd
Ferguson.
That's funny. Funny name.
And also, though, one of my favorite imitations in the history of Saturday Night Live is Alec Baldwin doing Tony Bennett. This is really great. This just great. And just he could say anything. It's a genius. The way they make him up to look like Tony Bennett. He is so funny as that.
Baldwin is good. When he was out there with Tina Fey, when they gave the little salute to Tracy Morgan,
yeah,
and he did that small little riff in Tracy's voice,
yeah,
Alec Baldwin was pretty darn good. There's no doubt. But the Celebrity Jeopardy,
right?
When he wanted the Andre the Giant category,
right? That was so great. That was so.
The only thing I missed, and I don't know if they showed it, I might have missed it.
Yeah,
Jesse Jackson's appearance when he played The Point Is Moot.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Charles, thanks for calling in again. We'll see you in Indianapolis.
You be good. You take care. Be safe.
You got it. That's Charles Davis.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.